Okay, so this is my university gaming PC. It's a budget one, I'm not going to dismiss that. But it's got a nice, I've got here a Thermaltake V21, so it's got the removable filters there for the dust and removing the dust as well, which is great. Then we've also got the window on the top, and on that side as well we've got the dust filter again, nice and easy to remove. There's no disk drive on this, so I've got this little crappy, cheap, whatever that is, generic thing I just picked up on Amazon for things like 12 quid. Yeah, just plug straight in to the side where we've got the so you've got the audio, two USB 3s. I had to get an adapter because the M80X motherboard I've got on at the moment doesn't actually have USB 3 headers. So I'm not utilising the speed of USB 3, but all my USBs are still USB 2. And with documents and things at uni, I don't really see any real benefit of having such a USB 3 need, really. So in here I've got LEDs there. They are the NZXT blue LEDs, and at the back, which I can't really show you from this angle, so I've kind of caged in here. What I've got is, yeah, it's plugged in via Molex, I believe. There's a Molex adapter that goes straight into the expansion slots at the back for a little adapter that lets you change between the settings, but the cabling is so crappy on the actual switch that it literally would be either on or off. So I've just got it on full brightness all the time. Yeah, so I'll take the top off, because you can change these and have whichever way round you want. So I've got my, I would say, glass panel, plastic panel. So very bad cable management here. I'm absolutely awful at it, but I'm hoping to get around to it when I go back at Easter, so the next 3 weeks or so. So I'll start off on the left there. I've got the, that would be the that's the GTX 750, GT 750. Yeah, the TI overclocked, which is perfectly adequate for base games, because I've only got two 1080p monitors, so it does the job. We've got a fan at the back, just standard 12 centimetre, so 120 fan, aftermarket cooler, because I'm currently rocking a very vintage A8 3850 APU, which is overclocked to 3.6 GHz. It's quad core, so it's not too bad, but it's hardly a bulldozer or like 8 core 4 GHz kind of thing. Yeah, so here's more of the hellish cables, but there's a lovely massive fan up there, which hopefully you can see through there. There we go. Which is included with the case, and it makes it a lot better. It makes the air flow very well. I think the air on this is very mixed up, because I've got air coming in and going out different angles, and it doesn't really have much flow, although you can feel the air at the top more than anything else, which is quite worrying. I think is that an intake? Yeah. I honestly have no idea. I should have put that one round the other way, actually, which I suppose I can do at any other time. No, I've got so I've got a crappy vintage FM1 processor, AMD, only 8 GB of RAM. I've got 3 1TB hard drives, 2 down there. We've got an SSD to boot from. It's only a 120, but it's more than enough for Windows 10. And then underneath here, which I have no clue how to get to without unscrewing the side panels. I think that's the only way, because there's two separate panels. There's, as you can probably see with the ridge here, it goes underneath as well. So I've got, I think it's a 500 gig hard drive just to start it off. I'm hoping to get all these cables sorted out in the right colours and everything, because ideally I want the whole thing, well, like all the cables and things, to be sleeved blue, but I've not got a bloody clue how to actually do it properly without spending an absolute fortune on the custom cables and everything. So I've got a semi-modular PSU, I think it's an Mintech 500, so I'm basically, yeah, I haven't got the sleeving that I was hoping to have, but you know, when student finance rolls around I might be able to get it. I've got two little resistors for the fans, because otherwise it becomes unbearably loud. I'm not sure actually if you'll be able to hear the audio of this, of the actual system fans very well, but if not, it's not the end of the world. It's not too loud, it's not too quiet. But no, this is it's perfectly capable. I can run, what was it, the most recent Tomb Raider, so Rise of the Tomb Raider, I think. I can run that one fairly decently at 1080p. But then, on the other hand, if I want to get anything better, I've got to turn down the graphics a bit, which, you know, all in, I think if I was buying, because it's a cheap M80X, this case is only 40 quid when I bought it, so £40 through Amazon, and that's a nice little project for me. I haven't got a water cooler. I was thinking about it, because you've got all the capabilities and things, but I'm not so sure if I'm travelling, I have to travel 120 miles from home to get to university, and it's just not really viable. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to, but if all else fails, I've still got a cheap ass cooler, but it does the job. Well, it let me overclock by what, 8 gigahertz, 0.8 gigahertz even, so that's fairly decent for a 2011 processor. No, I'm pretty chuffed. I'm pretty chuffed with this. No, I'm always looking to upgrade it and swap out bits and bobs and stuff. But you know, I was hoping to have a CD drive, and there's a slot in here for it, just above the fan. But on the front, there's no hole whatsoever at all. So you can see my finger through there. That's where the disk drive, a normal disk drive for a normal PC, would fit in. And I would still have room if I fancied it, but I don't want to end up destroying this case. You know, it's quite a nice thing. If I wanted it on its side, you lift off this thing and stick it wherever the hell you want it. But no, all in with the parts, I think the GPU I bought for about 80 quid on eBuyer. Then CPU I did the stupidest thing ever. I bought it riskily from CEX online, and I think it was only 30 quid, just shy of 30 quid. Motherboard bought brand new, about 35 quid. Hard drives, I've not got a bloody clue. I just buy, I think I've got two of the 2.5 inch drives down there, but then I've also got underneath here the 500 gig, and I think that's I want to say it's a Western Digital, but I'm not 100% sure, because I've got two Toshiba L300s, I think, which work out at the moment about 30 quid per terabyte, which is pretty cheap for small things that just slot in down the side. But I've got more like caddies for that, more holders for it at home, so when I get that I might end up sticking in some more, just because my Steam library has now got to the point where it's absolutely massive and it's just taking the absolute piss. It's overboard. It's all like the Humble Bundle and stuff, where it all totals up, and you know, libraries, iTunes, Spotify, everything is just, all the cache and stuff is just located in my hard drives. It just takes up way too much space. But no, the next thing I'm going to be doing is cable management, and I'm hoping to do a video not a guide, because that would imply that I'm quite an expert at it, but on the other hand, more along the lines of, say, just a vlog, I guess, of the process of me going through it, sorting out the cabling, sleeving, methods that I've done, and ones that I'm using. I'm tempted by the idea of doing like shrink sleeving, like the where you heat it up with a lighter or something, and shrink it to the size. Because it's just a mishmash of cables down there. It's things that I've managed to pick up cheap or pick up for free. Yeah, it does the job, but it certainly is not glamorous in the slightest. So now I'll probably get something like an extender for the fan, so I can have all the cables just tucked away, the splitter and everything. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I just gotta stock up like crazy, I reckon. It's gonna be, I would say expensive. It's gonna be cheap if I do it right, and I'll make sure I list the components of what you can buy, the shrink wrapping or whatever sleeving I choose to go for. I had contemplated doing a covering it in simply electrical tape, but it's just not going to look right at all. It's going to look really botched, and yes, it is quite a botched machine. It's, there's no brand loyalty at all. It's no, I'm not solely Intel, solely AMD or anything. I'm basically whatever is cheap and does the job and can be overclocked. I'm bloody going to do it, Alright, so the LEDs on the side make it look a lot brighter on the camera than it actually is in real life. But if you look here, you can see I've got one hard drive here to the left, then I've got another one here, and I've got my Kingston SSD just around there. So yeah, that's pretty much my PC build. I think, yeah, all in the actual value of the PC, the most expensive thing on the PC is the graphics card, and that's not really saying much because it's probably one of the cheapest, reasonable graphics cards. It's hardly a Titan, but it's for a student with rent or accommodation and stuff to pay, with student loans and everything. All in, I reckon you'd be looking at around $250, and yeah, it's not going to be beating an Xbox One or anything any day at all, but I'm always looking at ways to speed it up, SSD and all sorts.